It's yet another episode of The Vicar's Wife. Thank you so much for sticking with us here every Tuesday. It is a pleasure to have you watch the lives of pastors' wives as they unfold before you. Thank you for being with us. My name is Victoria Vijeje, and this is The Vicar's Wife Show. Today I have another pastor's wife. She's going to tell us about her life as a pastor's wife. She's from Worship Harvest. I'm going to leave the details. She's going to tell you the details. I'm so excited to have her, and I hope you too are excited. You are going to learn so much from her. Every Tuesday we are here 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. You can also check us on our socials, YouTube Live, Promise TV UG. You can check us on our TikTok, our Facebook, and X at Promise TV UG. So welcome with me, Pastor Barbara Precious Muhumuza.
What a blessing. I'm so glad to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you, Pastor Barbara.
Yeah, we've been cooking and it's finally good to be
I've
here.
been looking forward to this day.
Yeah.
Wow, you're looking good.
Thank you.
You're smart.
Thank you.
Pastor Barbara. Let the people know who you are. Who is Pastor Barbara?
Pastor Barbara. My name is Precious Barbara Muhumuza. I am married to Pastor Ivan Muhumuza. We pastor at Worship Harvest Ginger currently under Worship Harvest Ministries led by Apostle Moses Mukisa. I send him my love.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's who we are. I'm a mother of 3 children.
Yes.
I work full-time outside of ministry Monday to Friday. I am working. I'm a people management specialist, but I focus more on customer experience and human resource.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Tell us about your background. How did you come into ministry?
All right. My background, I was born in an Anglican family. And so much of what I knew about, a Christian life was going to church on Sunday, praying every day at home.
Yes.
So we grew up reading the Bible, praying, but I didn't have like a personal relationship with God, except for, tagging along family and a life like that in the Anglican home. And so when I joined university, I served God in the CU Scripture Union at school, but then that was it. In A level, I was like, I need a break. I need a break from all this is too much. I'm not used to it. So I took a break. And then I encountered God again at university in my first year at St. Kakumba Chapel, where we used to serve. I joined the drama ministry. And then I also met my husband there at the time. He was a student at Chambogo University. He was in second year, I was in first year. That's how we met. Okay. Maybe my life in ministry is since then. We quickly joined Worship Harvest after we started dating. And there is no such a thing as sitting back in Worship Harvest. You have to be serving somehow. So I quickly joined ministry, and I think the rest is history. I've enjoyed ministry since then.
Well, I remember back then when you used to leave work and you'd go running to meet him in Chambo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And at what point did you become a pastor's wife?
At what point? So here is the thing. I always didn't know I would be a pastor's wife. I didn't want to become a pastor's wife. I always thought like pastors are broke. They don't always look nice. They, all the nice things you like about boyfriends.
Yes.
I always thought that being a pastor's wife
will
limit my life. Yeah. So at some point in our relationship, early in our relationship, he asked me, would you consider have you ever thought about being a pastor's wife? I'm like, what do you mean? Where do you even get such a question? I don't want to be a pastor's wife. So the conversation ended, and I don't think that he thought he would be a pastor at that time, but there were signs here and there that he would be a pastor. For him, he's always been in ministry. So when we joined Worship Harvest, somehow things, one step led to another. We didn't sit and plan and say, okay, now I'm becoming a pastor. No, just being in ministry, eventually you end up being a pastor. And by the time we became pastors, I was comfortable with that idea because we had been discipled. That we know that is the end. The end of when every Christian life is when we disciple other people. So it came naturally by the time we got married. I was comfortable with that idea, but it wasn't always like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what surprises did you find when you became?
Surprises. I thought, guys, when you get married to a pastor, I thought you pray every day together as a family. Yeah, you know. So one of the surprises was at home, you pray, but it wasn't like, you know, what I was used to, where you sit together every day, every morning, every evening, hold hands, read the Bible together, pray together.
The happy, prayerful
you know,
family.
No, that wasn't what was happening. And we are comfortable with that because we know that as long as you're grooming your personal life, we have points where we pray together, but it's not a law in our home that we have to pray together every single morning or every single evening. The other surprise was, I thought that, you know, when you're married to a pastor, I think it's the same. Like, you're always speaking in tongues all the time, you know, everything speaking in tongues. And yeah, so I quickly noticed that my man of God, who is my husband, is human. They are not what they are on the pulpit all that. They are not preaching to us all the time.
Yes.
They're not praying to us all the time. They are not, you know, they are a husband, they are a father.
They are human.
They are human. They are friends. You know, so I guess it's a good surprise.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, you were a young couple with Pastor Blesso, and I don't know, how have you been able to manage expectations of believers, seeing you young, or people outside there knowing that you are pastors? How have you managed?
The first thing I quickly learned, I think as a girl, was that the thing that people see in public should be the thing that I am in private. And so I've not had the pressure to prove anything to anyone. I want to parent my children not based on what people will say, but based on what the Bible says. I want to be a wife not based on what people will say, but what the Bible tells me. I want to be a human being, not because another person is seeing me. I want to be smart, not because another person is seeing me, but because that's who I am. That's what the Bible tells me to be. And so I've not really had the pressure of what will people say, or what, you know, what I should look like, or what I should behave. I think just being discipled from a younger age, even before I was a pastor's wife, has been helpful, because then the standards of the world, my friend, today they want you to be something else. Tomorrow it will be another thing. Another day there will be another trend.
Yes.
So you can't keep matching up. It's just knowing who God really wants you to be.
That is true.
And living up to that. And maintaining the same standard privately and publicly. Yeah.
I think it really helps a lot, because you realize when you are different in public and you portray a certain picture you're different in private and you portray a certain picture in public, people always put you on a pedestal. And if you don't match up sometimes, because in your privacy you are low, and then in public you are high, it always tends to pull you down. It can strain you.
It's not
before
even sustainable.
you
You
break
can't
down.
sustain it.
You can't.
You can only sustain what's coming from within. So
That is true.
if you're living for what other people will say, then it's not sustainable.
Wow.
Yeah.
And with all the demands that come with ministry, you are here. Recently, I just said you started, you planted a church in Ginger, or you are pastoring a church in Ginger.
Yeah, we didn't plant it, but
from Makerere. And
Yes.
how is that transition for you, your family, like your life? How are you being transitioned?
It's good, again, because we've been prepared to be very missional people. Nothing comes as a surprise. I think even if we were told to move to a different country right now, or a different village, we would be okay, because we know for sure that being sent is a privilege, it's an opportunity. So it's good, it's going well. We found good people in the place. Our children are excited about it. They are always talking about it. God has aligned everything to fit that transition, whether it's school for the children, whether it's work, whether it's like everything was waiting for the decision to be made, and everything aligned well. So we've not even struggled through that transition.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's not easy for people to just move. Like you said, you are missionaries, but there's someone who is not ready to just move
Up and go.
with their family,
Yeah.
and they feel it's too much. Like, we can't. There's a book I was reading for Cindy Jacobs, and her parents were missionaries, and she said it's called Women of Destiny. How they would always have to move from one place to another, and it affected her childhood. You know, not keeping up with friends, not having friends, and maybe someone is there and she's a pastor's wife and she's wondering, How do these
you
people
keep,
easily just jump into this?
I don't think it's easily. I think that somehow God prepares you. It's never easy. I think even with this transition, there's been things to work through, the details to work through. It's never easy, but God somehow prepares you. Yeah, the thing that quickly came to mind as you were speaking is the Bible says that if you're willing and obedient, you'll eat
the fruit of the
good
land.
of the land.
That is
so I think first you're willing, then you're
and
obedient,
then you're obedient.
then you're like, everything else God will take care of it. Yeah. So it's trusting God. It's trusting that when I say yes to God, He will take care of me. When I say yes to God, He will take care of my family. And so it's just first saying yes, and then everything else, and allowing God to work. Yeah, because sometimes we are very limited with the limitations, of change, the limitations of what might work, what might not work, the things you're leaving behind. But we forget that there are things that God has in store for you while you're going. Yeah, so He will not call you to a place and not take care of you.
That is true. Yeah. Wow, amazing. And how are you and Pastor Blesso managing your family time amidst all the demands of ministry? Because you're here today, you're there the other day, then your children need you. How do you manage your time? Because today someone was saying they're just newly married and they're having challenges of how to balance work, family, ministry. Now, for you, a pastor, you are working, you have children, you're married, and you have all this going about. How are you able to manage this?
One, there's I don't remember who said that, but they said there is no such a thing as balance. It's like every season has things that are priority and things that are not priority. And they said that the thing to do with life as you grow up is to live within the moments, to live in the moment. If I'm at church, I am fully focused and I'm at church. If I'm at home, I'm a mother. At church, I'm at home, I'm not a pastor for my children. At home, I'm a mother to my children, who is changing nappies, who is bathing, who is, doing all the things that mommies do. And then at work, I am working, so it's just living within the moments, because I'm not a pastor I'm not pastoring people all the time. I'm not mothering all the time. But every moment I maximize, like I'm here, I'm not thinking about my babies. I'm here right now. So that's how we manage. And at a family level, we've adopted the same thing. When we have moments together, we maximize them. When we have opportunity to talk, we will talk. When we have opportunity to go somewhere, we'll go. But also, we've tried not to compartmentalize life, to say we are a family on mission. So now being a family on mission means that sometimes we'll utilize the moments when we are together on mission. We don't have to create extra time that we don't have, but we can create beautiful moments at church,
wherever you
within, on mission ground, just being together. That's an opportunity that some people don't get to have, but we are together much of the time on mission. So that also allows us to, work on our marriage, and serving together is a privilege.
Wow. It's really a privilege job. There are couples where your husband is in this church, another one is in the other church, and it's really hard sometimes come together. What do you think of that?
I think that the Bible says that how can two walk together unless they're agreed? I would love to encourage couples as much as possible to serve together, to serve in the same place, to serve under the same umbrella, because you are feeding from the same source. You are learning from the same source. You are being taught by the same people. And so there is no room for misalignment, or even if it was there, it's limited. But when you're serving in different places, you're drawing from different sources and coming together. When two different rivers meet, what happens?
There's always a
chaos. So one person is saying one thing, you believe another thing. Even if you're both Christians and you both believe in God, I think that it's important to harmonize what you believe by how you serve together.
Wow. Are there moments in your life as a pastor's wife that you had your faith tested, and you're like, God, this one, I have really had it to the end. And how did God carry you through that moment?
I think every person really gets tested, whether you're a wife or not. As long as you're a human being, you will be tested. Jesus was tested. The Bible tells us clearly that Jesus was tested. So we've had our own shares of tests in life. Even when we were married, we've had seasons where we've, struggled through, like some seasons. And the way we've managed is that we have had cover over us. We've had shepherds over us. We love to say in our church that everyone needs a shepherd.
Everyone needs a shepherd.
Without a shepherd, I don't know. It's shepherds. It's sheep scatter. It's shepherds that help us.
Come for that
exactly.
sheep.
So just having shepherds over us who we go to and say, okay, this and this is happening. This is the challenge we've experienced. So this is a challenge we are experiencing. And then they've guided us and loved us and shielded us. And we've come out of those seasons stronger. They've not been many, but I think that everyone gets those times, whether you're married or not, and you will need a shepherd over you to just talk through those things and seek counsel and get guidance over the same. Yeah.
What was that one particular experience you had?
I think it's been maybe the one I can share is just dealing with financial alignment, because sometimes as a couple, when you've just gotten married, you have different grown up from different backgrounds. Your money doesn't align properly, or how you deal with the money doesn't align properly. And we've had seasons where we just needed people to help us see, because I know that finances is one of the things that causes the biggest drift in marriages. And so just having our pastors, talk to us through finances and how to manage and show us different trackers and help us to align our mind and vision. And somehow we don't even argue about money anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, it's something that...
it's something that really disturbs young couples. Of, I've been earning this amount, you're earning that amount, how do we bring it together? And if you don't have the right people, truly, or the right knowledge to help you, you can pull ropes, you can misunderstand, you're turning this side, the other one is turning the other side.
You see, the world is telling you, as a woman, have your side things, plan your own things. You never know where this marriage could land, etc. But biblical principles are different. So if you don't align yourself as a wife, and you're hearing everything else, all the stories that have happened out there, etc., or you have your own vision and your own agenda as a person as well, eventually you need people who are well guided, who are well positioned to guide you. And we've benefited from that.
Wow. I'm going to ask you this question. Are there church members who have shown a like for Pastor Blesso, and for you they're like, we prefer Pastor Blesso and Pastor Barbara? Pastor Blesso understands us better than you, and they show a kind of a dislike to you. How have you been able to manage?
Maybe not a dislike, but a preference. I mean, he's the main pastor. He's our pastor. He's the lead pastor at the location where we lead. And so it's understandable when people want to associate more with him at a pastoral level. And that's okay. I should be comfortable with that, because I'm also benefiting from his leadership. And so when you have people who would prefer to work, also he's with them much of the time than I am with them. And so they probably have better relationships. But I also know that as a person, there are people that God has brought in my space to disciple. And so I'm comfortable to disciple them. I'm very happy to, pour whatever I have into them. I never have to feel like I'm competing with him over people, because he is the lead. So it's bound, naturally it will happen like that. That the more time he's spending with people, the more they're inclined to him than they are to me. And I should be okay with that.
Wow. Some people always show you like, you don't call it our pastor, really.
But you see, there is also a thing where I think it's a thing where people are not well taught, because why are you disliking someone in the first place? We are working as a team. And you see also, my husband has this thing where there are many times where he would be like, the thing that people have brought to me, maybe I would rather my wife deals with that, especially if it's things to do with, let's say, one of the things we've been taught is when it comes, let's say, to counseling or to comforting, let females be comforted by females. Let
the males.
That the males counsel males, you know. It's just
prefer the male pastor.
No. It's just ministerial ethics, you know. So in that case, if you dislike me to counsel you, I don't know, we may have to find for you another pastor, you know, to counsel you, because there is just that already, that in the system that, you know, allow for females to minister to females, allow for males to minister to males, for reasons best known to all of us, you know. It's just for boundaries and making sure that everyone is comfortable. And so I think if people are well taught, then there shouldn't be things like, oh, me, I would prefer this person to. No. We are working as a team. And so as a team, we will help you as the best way we know how to. And sometimes it may be me, sometimes it will be him. Yeah, so if people are well taught, I don't think we should have issues like that, unless people have their own personal agendas. Yeah.
You know, there are people, our brethren, who, when it's time for counseling, they always tend to take the pastor's time and forget the pastor has to make time for his family. I was looking at some clip the other day, and the pastor's wife went to the pastor for counseling.
All right.
Of, my husband has no time for me, and the husband is the pastor, and he has a lot of time spent on counseling people, and he doesn't have time for his wife. You know?
I think that also, as one of the things we have learned earlier in ministry is that you need to have systems as a pastor or as a pastoral team. You need to have systems within the church that allow you. You cannot use ministry as an excuse for you not to take care of your family, but also you have to create time to care for the people. So how do you do that? Sometimes, so as the church grows, will you be able to counsel every person? No. You need to have systems that allow for you to love people through people. Maybe let me say it like that. Disciple people through people. You may not disciple everyone equally, but you can create systems that allow for everyone in the church to feel loved, to feel cared for, to be loved, to be discipled.
Yes.
And so I think maybe sometimes the mistake we make is that you think you have to be there for everyone personally. If I don't sit with you, I'm not loving you. No, but I can love you through other people by setting the right systems in the church. So one of the things we have is a pastoral care team to make sure that everyone gets the attention they deserve. And sometimes when we have to intervene personally, then it's something that is allowable. It's okay. It's known. It's, you know, it's not every day. Also, sometimes wives, we are being chaotic when we when we complain. Sometimes it's really, it happens,
yes.
But sometimes we are probably being petty. We want all the time, but your person is a pastor. When your person is a pastor,
so you have to understand that your person is a pastor.
Yeah, when your person is a pastor, they are a pastor. They are in ministry full time, and so there's like a balance that needs to be, you know, when that's why I say live in the moments. When you have the moments with your person, maximize
there are
them.
people who would really want a lot of pastor's time, even though the pastor knows like they want to take the pastor's time.
Then create that within your schedule. You see, for example, I'm not in Ginger today. I don't control what he's doing with his time. So that's time that he can use to meet people, to counsel, to visit, to have meetings, everything. The same way I go to work and I'm not with him, does he complain that, you know, my wife is at work all the time? No. So why am I complaining that he's spending a lot of time pastoring the people? So I think there needs to be a balance, you know, and then also the pastors need to know that they need to intentionally create time for their families, because your family, God is not asking you to forsake your family at the expense of ministry. He's asking you to love your family. You know, it's like the wisdom is that your family is part of your ministry. So just creating that time to take care of your family, take care of your wife's needs, take care of your children's needs. Yeah, so that balance I think is very important. And for us wives to understand that your husband is a pastor, and so he's not like men that have an 8 to 5 job. Sometimes he's late visiting the sheep.
Now that's where some misunderstanding comes in. Like, why would he be so late outside visiting the sheep.
The sheep are available in the evening. The sheep have been working. You know that people have been working 8 to 5,
But
so they're
some
available
sheep,
in the evening. So I think, you know, we just have to be flexible a little bit, yeah.
Yes, it's not easy for some young married
Yeah.
couples who are just starting out. Maybe this lady is just newly married to a pastor, and this pastor's life
Want
has been like
quality
that
time.
before, and now first she's getting new into this, and
Yeah.
she's seeing things go differently from what she expected.
Yeah, no, truthfully, we also had our seasons where I was like, hey, this whole pastoring thing is going to another level, you know. But yeah, but it's just, I think every year gets better with time, and as you also mature as a disciple, it becomes easier for you to allow that pastoring is not an ordinary job. It's not the usual kind of job. It's different. It's for the called, yeah.
You know, and it's something that if someone understands the call, really it helps you to overcome certain hurdles, certain things that you might have. Instead of just bumping into them, you're able to overcome and see beyond them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sure.
We are going for a very brief short break. We are here with Pastor Barbara. She's giving us nuggets. I hope you are catching up all the nuggets that she's giving us.
I hope I'm not shaking tables.
If the tables are being shaken, please put them proper, because it's all about learning from the lives of pastors' wives. We are all different, but God helps us in this journey. So stay with us until we come back from this short break.
Pastors and ministers of the gospel, are you looking for a platform to reach more souls with your message, your ministry, or your events? At The Promise Television, we are a non-denominational Christian media house with a radio and TV that reaches people from all communities and all churches. We offer flexible airtime options that fit your needs and your budget. There's no restriction, no limitation. It's just a platform to spread the gospel far and wide. So don't wait. Book your airtime with Promise Television today and let your ministry shine on a platform that welcomes all believers. Call us now at 0746 405 060 to get started. Promise Television, be lifted.
Welcome to the world where stories move at your speed. This is the Sunrise Show, the ultimate ride through news, trends, sports, and business. We break it fast, trend it faster, and serve it with style. Catch up these headlines, lighting up your world with social media buzzing stories, epic sports moments, and money magic moves. Every weekday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. with Angel Walker, right here on Promise TV.
The Vicar's Wife, a space where pastors' wives can be real, refreshed, and reminded they are not alone. Ministry life is beautiful, but let's be honest. It comes with challenges, expectations, and moments that test our faith. This is where we get to talk about it all. The joys, the lessons, the struggles, and the grace that carries us through. So take up a chair, take a deep breath, and let's walk this journey together. Welcome home. Victoria Bijeje on The Vicar's Wife, every Tuesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. here on Promise TV. Welcome back from that short break. I'm still here with Pastor Barbara, and she's telling us beautiful nuggets that are going to help us as pastors' wives. There is no such thing as balance, but God really helps us, you know, how you put your ministry, how you bring in your family, your personal life, because sometimes we always tend to forget ourselves and we are drowned into ministry, powering ourselves out, and you know, it really gets so tricky, but we are learning a lot from her. And she's now going to tell us about her marriage life. Pastor Barbara, it is coming to 10 years since you got married to Pastor Blessed, you know. And I remember that season, that because you got married, I think it's still the same. You got married like today, I got married the following day, and now we are here as pastors' wives. So tell us, how are your years, the first years of your marriage, those young years
when we had just got married?
Yes.
Take me back.
Please, no, because you're going to do now a decade memory lane. So how was it?
The first years were really, really good. I think we spent a lot of time together. We didn't have children then, of course.
Yeah.
We were staying somewhere in a village in Kampala. I won't mention because the people who live there might, But now it has since grown. It's a town.
Yeah.
But we used to spend weekends together. We were joking recently and saying, Kali, those first years we used to wash clothes together, wash shoes together, clean the house together, cook together, everywhere together. That has changed because the demands as you grow up, keep changing. And so right now you have to create the pockets to be together, to do those things together if you still do. But those years it was easy because that's all we knew. You come back from church, you enter the kitchen, you start cooking. Saturday was for washing, hanging clothes, general cleaning, etc. And so I think that's how we spent the first years. But that was short-lived also because at the time we got married, my husband was a youth pastor. I was also serving in the church, but I wasn't, a pastor then. So we got married in 2016 and we planted the church we planted in 2018.
Wow.
So you can see that
1 year
it was very short.
What?
Yeah. And then when we planted the church, at the time we planted the church, we already had, a number of disciples, siblings, etc. So there were different dynamics now. But I think other than that, we've learned to enjoy every season of our marriage, regardless of how dynamic it has been, because it's very easy and tempting to say, oh, those years we're having quality time, so maybe now we don't enjoy the marriage. No, we've learned that every season. I think one of the things I learned also on the journey of marriage is that every season is different, and so you learn to adapt to every season. Yes. The season when you don't have children is different from the season when you have children. You can't insist on living the same way when you didn't have children.
I normally tell expecting moms that there is a grace for being single.
Yes.
There's a grace for having one child.
Yes.
And a grace for having two children.
There's a grace for every season.
Yes.
And so as much as I really like those early years, I'm also aware that it will not happen again. And because we've grown, we have now children, we have ministry, we have work, we have businesses. So you can't live the same way you live, but you can maximize the season you're in now. Yeah.
Yeah, the people always want to go back.
To do what?
To the sweet life of washing clothes together.
It's nice. I mean, it's beautiful. Yeah, but also it's even more beautiful when you have systems that can help you do some of those things. As long as you're able to protect your time as married, I think that every season can be enjoyable. Yeah.
Did you have moments where you had people to come and stay with you at home?
We've always lived with people.
How were you handling that?
We've lived with people since we were maybe 6 months married.
Our
home has always had people. We don't know any better. Yeah, but even in that, we know the essence of creating pockets of time to just be alone. So that's something I'm grateful to God for. Our family is very unique. We've always had people in the house. Yeah, and then of course disciples coming over here once in a while. Yeah, that's been our life. So I think God was preparing me also for ministry because I don't know how to live alone. Yeah.
Well, there are people who always have to come into a pastor's home and they want to take over. The other day, Apostle was telling us that early before people would come to his home in the kitchen and they want to take over, eat what is in the fridge, tell mommy what to do, and you're wondering who has the guts to do those things in someone's home that you just come in.
I think what we have probably, again, the thing I talked about earlier, when people are not well taught, anything is possible. Anything can really happen. But also I think in our home, there are people who, as part of discipleship, I think we allow for them to explore. Our home is more or less like their home. But even in that, we have boundaries. There are some mistakes I made earlier in my marriage that I would probably not make now. Was not to lack boundaries as a person. You kind of almost trust everyone, or you're happy to be around everyone and even to the most intimate, spaces or life. But I think that even in a discipling journey, there's need for personal boundaries, which have helped us. That even with people, you kind of have boundaries that help you. Yeah.
Wow. And in these 10 years that you are going to make with Pastor Blesso, tell us, how has ministry taught you about marriage for the years you've been married?
What has ministry taught me? That marriage is sacrifice. Marriage is an example of what it means to live for others. I think first that, because before ministry, you kind of have it head knowledge. I am going to give, even in the vows, it's very clear. Whatever I have, I give to you, etc. You kind of know. But ministry brings it into light. That this life is not your life. It's for others. Yeah. So once you get that, then you settle it in your heart, and then you're comfortable to keep giving and giving and giving. The other thing that I've learned about marriage is that you need to have marriage right.
What is marrying right?
Marrying right for me is that you are one of the same faith. The person you're getting married to is a believer. The person you're getting married to is a humble man. Because sometimes the ego can be too much, but when your person is well submitted, then so I said they are godly man, you have the same faith, they are believer, then they are humble, that means they are submitted. Because for me, humility is you can submit to another person easily. You account to them. So once you marry right, you will enjoy your marriage.
Now the one who is not married right.
The one who is not married right, that one, we have to keep praying that, their person comes to the knowledge of Jesus Christ and also becomes humble.
10 years down the road.
10 years down the road, what do you do? When you didn't marry right, the apostle keeps saying that you swallow the pin and hope that the pin went right. If it branches off like this, the pin is inside.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, so the ladies who are not yet married, please marry well. Don't marry for looks or money, or those things change. But if you marry a man who is submitted to God and submitted to authority, I think that those for me are some of the critical things I look out for. The other thing I've learned about marriage is that marriage can be enjoyable. And it doesn't have to be, like you said, as per the standards of what the church members will say.
Yes.
No, every marriage is very unique. And so the other pastor's wife in the other church is different from your pastor's wife. Yeah, maybe the other one dresses a certain way. Allow for your pastor's wife to dress the way they dress, as long as they are within the confines of what's allowable by God. So those expectations and pressures also need to stop, because sometimes people are just smiling on the outward, but they're dealing with depression, and so that's the other thing. The other thing was, I think the last thing I'm going to say is that I already said it, that my private life should be a reflection
of your public.
My public life should be a reflection of my private life. I don't have anything to prove as long as I'm living right. So my focus should be, am I loving my husband right? Am I taking care of him? Am I taking care of my family? Am I taking care of my obligations and responsibility? If that's happening, then it will reflect on the outside. I don't need to prove it. I don't need to force it. It will show.
Yeah. Sometimes when we get into ministry, we tend to forget who we are and we want to portray a certain picture. And you either hide behind the identity of your husband, which is good that we carry out their names. It also gives us a certain identity. But there is who you are.
Who God has called you to be.
So, and you as Barbara, how have you been able to maintain your identity outside the role of being a pastor's wife? Because there are people who don't know you are a pastor.
I actually, I don't even think about myself as a pastor's wife. I think about myself as a minister, as a pastor. Of course, I'm a pastor's wife. I'm not negating that, but I rarely think about myself like that. First, I'm a child of God who is loved by God. who is cared for by God, who is pampered by God, and who has responsibility as a child of God. So I look at myself first like that. And then I look at myself as a minister. What does God want me to do in this season? Whatever it is that he wants me to do, I will do. What has God called me to do? We are also in a church where we are taught to disciple. It's like you will be uncomfortable if you're not discipling people in worship harvests. And so I'm also asking myself, which people am I actually impacting positively? Which people am I leading? Which people am I teaching the ways of God? Yeah, so I think once you stop to think about yourself as a pastor's wife, then you also carry a responsibility as a child of God to do the things that God has called you to do. Yeah, so that gives me, and also I think I struggled with identity quite a lot when I was growing up, even as a wife, as a, just, I think maybe up to until I was after university, I really struggled with identity. I even wrote a book about, the transforming power of self-perception. Because it stems from I struggle with identity. And so I know what it means to live in the shadow of others and not really live. Yeah, so I encourage anyone out there, just ask, what does God want me to do in this season, and do it. What does God have for me in this season as a person, and then do it. Yeah. These other roles, pastor's wife, those ones I'm happy to have, but I'm happy first to be identified as a child of God, who is loved by God, who is pampered by God. Yeah.
Amazing, well done. And in the moments where you feel you're drained, you feel like, a lot has been drained out of you. How are you able to refill your cup?
I love to sing nice songs, soft songs.
You sing?
Yeah, I sing. Though my husband says I sing in the bathroom, but yeah, I try and sing. I love, usually when I am feeling low, and he actually said it recently, said, when I hear you singing these songs, I know that you're refilling, you're on the low. So I love to do that. I love to hang out with friends. I really love to hang out with friends. There are people I love to just go out, eat, maybe visit new places, etc. I love to write. Yeah, and just work, basically.
Work. Most people you didn't find them working when they feel like
it's what you have to work. Somehow you keep going. Yeah, it helps you keep going.
Amazing. You know, it always takes a toll on someone who doesn't know how to get out of it, and they feel it's taking them down, and before you realize, you're like, like you are really drained out, and someone doesn't know how to refill their cup of going back to God and understanding that.
But also maybe something I can add is that it's almost natural for everyone to have seasons when they are low, discouraged, etc. I think just having a circle of people you can talk to, because like I said, first you are a child of God, but sometimes the titles we carry give us a temptation to think that, you're dealing with this thing, you can't talk to someone about it. But you can talk to someone about it. There is nothing new under the sun. Whatever you're dealing with, someone has dealt with it. So you can always go to someone and talk to them and say, look, me, you see me here, I'm smiling, but deep down there, I'm dying. I'm dying. And you'll probably laugh about it, or you'll talk about it, or they'll pray for you, but you'll feel better. So just have a circle of. The other thing I find in ministry sometimes is that sometimes we don't create time to make meaningful friendships, and so you don't even have real friends. You're serving every Sunday, you're pouring out every day, but you don't have
meaningful friends.
So that's another thing. Invest in meaningful friendships, outside of the usual. Who are the people that you can actually go to and say, today has refused? Yeah.
Sometimes being a pastor's wife, people can think you have it all together, and yet you need this circle of friends to actually help you get back up and Yes, so thank you so much for that tip. It's really helpful to someone out there. And what personal values do you anchor on as a leader, as a pastor's wife?
I was actually meditating on this yesterday. I was thinking about it. I was like, well, being born again, it's really loving God and loving his people. Yeah, so love is a value that I think every Christian should uphold regardless of season. So that's one. Two, at church we have these values that we keep saying legit. So I adopted those ones. I'm loving, I am excellent, I am generous, I am involving, and I'm very transparent.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Loving.
I'm loving, I love God, I love people.
Yes.
And practically, like not those things of
with words,
you know? Yeah. Two, I'm very excellent. I try to make sure that what I'm doing is excellent.
Yes.
I am learning, you know, that's, you know. And then three, I'm generous. I live by generosity.
Yes.
There are very many scriptures in the Bible, Proverbs, that talk about generosity and how it helps us to prosper as children of God. So yeah, generosity. Then involving. I don't do things alone. I involve other people. We have systems, you have processes, you have, you know, support systems at home. I don't die alone. I don't. I am not Jesus. Jesus died for me. Yeah, and then I'm very transparent. What you see is what you get. Yeah.
Well,
I try to be as transparent as possible.
It helps a lot. I think I should adopt that legit.
Yeah.
I think it would really be helpful.
Yeah, but also
you
I
can
think
also adopt it, dear viewers. It's really good.
Yeah.
It can help you.
Yeah, and integrity. Yeah, which is in the last part, the transparency part. Just integrity as a child of God. So
wow.
should be integral.
Pastor Precious, as we draw to a conclusion, there is a pastor's wife out there who is watching us and they feel unseen. They feel they've been in this space for a long time. Some have appreciated the post, others have not appreciated it, and they don't really understand what's going on. They are maybe young in marriage, or they've been there and maybe 2 months, 1 year, 3 years down the road, and it's overwhelming them. And they don't really know what to do. What advice would you give them?
One, you are seen. It's very easy to feel like that, especially when you've been going, and you know, sometimes you have things in your life that you hope are working a certain way, and maybe they're not working a certain way, but you're seen. God sees you. At the end of the day, God really sees you. He sees your labor, he sees what you put in, he sees the sacrifices you're making, he sees what you are going through. And then secondly, I mentioned that earlier, have a family of people that you live life with. It doesn't have to be big, but you need a close family of friends and people they may be in your church, they may be outside of your church, but you need those people because sometimes the things you're going through, maybe not many people will understand them. And then lastly, pursue God. He's ultimate. I've had seasons where I had a year where I was depressed, very depressed.
How did
the year was difficult. I was like, this year I can't. This is too much.
What happened?
I just went to God. I said, God, today I'm not living here until you've sorted my heart.
What
I can't live like
year, Pastor Precious?
I cannot tell you.
Tell us. Someone could be going through that and they're wondering what happened.
No. It was just a series of things. But honestly, the real reason I cannot. But it was a hard year. It was so hard. And that year I was even pregnant. So I was like, is it emotions? Is it hormones? Am I actually depressed? Or is it just hormonal imbalance of this pregnancy? I just couldn't. But I'm like, God, whatever it is that I'm going through, I'm not leaving this place. I cannot live like this anymore. And I prayed to God, and somehow my heart lifted. And I started to see life a different way. Sometimes it's the lies, honestly. And sometimes it's truthfully, you're going through a difficult season. So pursue God, talk to him. He cares. He says, cast your burdens unto him, for he cares for you.
Has someone ever told you that I've prayed, but God is not working it out?
Yeah, you can be feeling like that, but God hears.
They want the solution to be really done so fast, and really God is not coming
They are not seeing the solution. Yeah, God cares. keep in there. God
That
really
is
cares
true.
for you.
That is true. And your final encouragement, what would you give to the pastors' wives who are watching us and those who dream to be pastors' wives? What encouragement would you give them?
It's a privilege. It's a blessing to serve God in that capacity. It's an honor. Yeah, it's not a bad thing, guys. When you hear pastor's wife, don't fear. Don't be like, hey, what is this I'm carrying? It's a blessing. And I think more than anything, the blessing of serving other people and discipling other people, opportunities to pray for other people, to minister to people, to love people practically. So sometimes, no, not sometimes, being a pastor's wife or being a pastor helps you to serve even more people and to love more people. So it's a beautiful, beautiful blessing. Never fear to marry a pastor when they approach you. And for those that are already married to pastors, welcome to the club of blessed women. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's been a beautiful time we've had here with Pastor Barbara. So much that we've learned. You can go back on YouTube and rewatch this. It's going to be there on our channel, Promise TV UG. Go back and rewatch and learn more from her. Take your time. We are here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So in case you want to sponsor this program, you can just check out on the contacts below, or you want to advertise with Promise TV, there's still a contact just down there that you can reach out to us and we do business together. It has been with you, Victoria VJJ, on the Vicar's Wife. Until next time, God bless you.